A computer without software is a useless device. We both know this from our computer science classes at school. If a device, like a TV, a mobile phone, or a computer, doesn't have software or the configuration that we ourselves have to set up, we really can't use any of these devices. It's the same with an employee you've hired but haven't properly onboarded. In reality, they will be inefficient, because in most cases, the employee doesn't know what they're supposed to do. Why am I telling you this? Because in many companies, this is exactly how employees are treated. Because we look at their education, at their professional experience, and most often we just hire them and immediately set them to work, expecting them to already know where everything is. Since they're supposed to be independent, they should basically already know how to do everything. But that's not exactly how it is, because if it were, everything would be perfect, and the employee would know exactly what to do. Then I wouldn't have to record this lesson for you today. And this lesson is very important so that you can once again increase productivity in your company. And for you, this is extremely important. Imagine that you've just bought your favorite phone, the one you've been searching for a long time, and you found the best model to suit your needs. You turn on the phone, and it turns out you simply have to set it up. That is, you need to select the language you'll be using, and you have to log into your account. If you don't have one, you have to create an account. And of course, you can rebel against the whole system created by the manufacturer. And you can say, write a complaint that this product is terrible, completely useless, and you simply demand a refund. But is it really true that this phone doesn't meet your expectations? Absolutely not. You just haven't configured it properly to suit your needs. It's exactly the same, for example, with an employee you've hired. Of course, they might be the best in their profession with many years of experience, but in reality, it's you as the company manager who has to properly onboard them for the given position. Besides, if I'm not mistaken, you get paid for that. Am I right or not? It's precisely for onboarding new employees that you get paid, and you need to pay close attention to this, because if you hire someone and don't explain to them exactly how they're supposed to work in your company, what the system is, and you don't devote enough time to them, they'll just go around in circles like a CD in a player and won't deliver any concrete results for your company. And after all, that's what matters to you most. Why am I telling you this? That it's so important to properly onboard an employee. I am an electrician by education with many years of experience, and let me tell you, an electrical installation in a building is not the same as, for example, one on a ship, and it's a completely different installation in an airplane, and yet another one in a bus. The electrical installation is also completely different, for example, in CNC machines. So as you can see, all of this differs greatly from one another. And now, for example, imagine a chef. He may have many valuable years of experience working in a restaurant, even serving as a head chef. But when he goes to work in a nursing home environment, that particular job is completely and entirely different. See how truly important it is to properly and effectively onboard a new employee at precisely the right time. Take a look, for example, at a mechanic. He might actually repair cars, but at the same time he could also repair CNC machines, and theoretically you could say, but you're a mechanic, you should know how to do this. Yes, of course. And of course he knows the basics, but every company is different, and in reality this requires proper onboarding of the employee. What do you think we should do to ensure that this employee is properly onboarded into the company? There might be a situation where you are just the manager of the company, but you don't know the specifics of the new employee's job. It's good if you choose the best employees, but why am I emphasizing that they should be the best? Don't pick those individuals who are so-called sycophants and who constantly flatter the boss every single day, and only choose them to teach new people the intricacies of the trade as their mentors for that particular reason. Shall we instead look at their competencies? Not just their competencies, but also how carefully they perform their work in your company. As a manager, you will definitely notice this. Whether it's about carefully preparing delicious meals as a professional chef, diligently doing complex electrical installations, or if it's a skilled mechanic or a highly experienced lawyer, you will clearly see their absolute strongest points, and as a discerning talent scout, you will know very well and with great certainty whether these individuals can effectively train others. So make sure that the best people are the ones training others. New people should be trained by the best. And of course, don't be afraid that these people will kick you out of your so-called chair, your position as a manager or supervisor, because the most important thing is for the company to be in good shape. However, if your employees achieve results, you will also be rewarded for that. Don't be afraid for your position. And if you are afraid, then make sure to take care of your own skills and train yourself every day. By the way, the fact that you're listening to me, congratulations, because it shows that you want your managerial skills to be enriched not only by lessons from other managers, but also that you're ready to listen to an employee so your skills can grow and so you can press the right motivational buttons in each employee's mind, making them happy and helping you achieve 150% engagement from your team. How can you effectively onboard new employees if your company has a very high turnover rate and people change as quickly as images in a kaleidoscope? How do you do that? I think that at this point the best solution is a video. Why? Because employees who are specifically responsible for the comprehensive training of new hires might indeed experience something like significant burnout if you consistently have a high turnover rate within your company. Why? Because they feel hopeless. Because they put in their effort, full commitment to onboarding a new employee, and in the end, that employee leaves for another company just because your company doesn't offer a raise. As a result, you're constantly training new people. Not to mention that this costs your company double the salary, because you have to pay both the employee who is onboarding and the one being onboarded. So let's understand it this way. You pay for 150 hours to the employee who is onboarding, and also 150 hours to the employee being onboarded. As a result, only one job gets done, and you keep losing double instead of giving raises, and your company just keeps losing. But getting back to the topic, if your company really has to have such high turnover because you don't want to give people raises, then at least do it in a way that lets your people record tutorial instruction videos. Why is this so important? Because if your employee invests an hour, they won't lose that hour. You might think of them as lazy for not doing their regular work and just recording a video, but that's not the case. But think about how important this is, because if you have 500 employees who could use some additional training, just imagine that's 500 hours, and 500 hours is roughly equivalent to 3 employees' salaries. So, look, your 3 employees would have to waste their time training the new ones, whereas it would be enough just to record videos that new employees could access. Of course, this would be done through some reasonable access code so that everyone could learn at a time that's convenient for them. And just think about the fact that even if any of your employees is on sick leave, they can always play such a tutorial video and learn new skills, which means your company will simply keep growing instead of shrinking. But I still encourage you to give raises and retain your best employees, because day by day they are becoming more competent and more efficient, and by hiring new people you only lose twice as much. To conclude this lesson on onboarding employees, make sure that they are trained by your best people, provide instructional tutorials, give them a proper salary so they don't leave you, and also equip them with the right tools for the job. This way, they will work more efficiently and your entire company will achieve success, which I sincerely wish for you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for completing this lesson, and I invite you to the next one.